Baking, a popular leisure activity and hobby done by millions, something that's fulfilling and enjoyable for so many people, so much so that some choose to make a career out of it. However, it's an extremely difficult industry to break into, especially in the case of sourdough.
Hi, I'm Dan Lepard. I'm a world-renowned baker, food writer, and I love sourdough bread.
In your own words, what is sourdough?
What is sourdough? It's a good question because I think it means different things to different people. There's a group called the Real Bread Campaign, and what they feel is that sourdough is purely flour, water, salt, and a leavening agent that is created by yeast and bacteria naturally found on the flour, fermenting a mixture that we call a sourdough starter.
What inspired you to start making sourdough?
You know, when I think about what inspired me to start baking sourdough, it was really that there was none around. They say sometimes that if you can see lots of people doing something, it's probably the wrong time for you to go into doing that. And back in the early 90s, no one was making sourdough. In fact, no one was interested in making great bread. So I thought that was a great place for me to be.
Did you find it difficult to make sourdough at first? What were the challenges you faced?
I've got to tell you, when I started making sourdough, it was so hard because you've got to remember this was a time before internet and even before there were many books or anything written about it. So for me, it was a lot of guessing and mistakes, many mistakes, very smelly mistakes of things rotting and just awful.
How did you overcome those challenges?
I think back then I was so young and egotistical, it never occurred to me that I'd truly fail, that I thought I was just hitting sort of hiccups in the road. Now when I look back, I think, why did I ever do that? God, that was just terrible. But I think I just had the determination that I would eventually succeed and nothing was going to stop me.
In your opinion, what makes a good sourdough loaf?
For me, a good sourdough loaf tastes sour, you know, that's one of the things. But it also needs to have the characteristics of great bread. So I want it to have a wonderful crust. I want it to have a crumb that's both soft and solid, if that makes sense. It needs to have some sturdiness to it, but also be delicious to chew on and to eat. And I guess it's got to make a great piece of toast, a great sandwich. It's got to be enjoyable and useful to eat.
Can you describe to us what sourdough smells, tastes and looks like typically?
When I have a great loaf of sourdough in front of me, I'm looking at the color. I want to see the crust. It should have a kind of dark orange, golden color to it, possibly going towards a dark brown. I want the crumb to be creamy, not brilliant white, because the process inevitably oxidizes the flour. So if it looks too white, it's probably not sourdough. So it should have a slight gray or creamy color to it. I want the aeration, that is the holes inside the dough, to be irregular. I want to see big bubbles, small bubbles. You know, I don't want to see it too uniform. And then for the flavor, I want it to taste brightly, mildly acidic. I want it to have a tang. I'd like to be able to taste the wheat in it too. I'd like to taste nuttiness from that. I'd like the crumb to be waxy looking and almost slightly sticky. If you achieve all those things, then you've got a great sourdough loaf.